Welcome to Film Feast.
We're two sister grill masters, watch a movie, yap about it, and then make recipes inspired by it.
Today we're talking about Jurassic Park. At the time, the highest grossing film ever made. That has obviously since changed, but this was like the biggest movie in the 90s. Basically, some old guy wants to create a park in the world called Jurassic Park. He gets dinosaur DNA. Through genetic engineering, is able to recreate dinosaurs and bring them back from extinction. And obviously this is gonna cause some problems. So
what could go wrong?
Excitement ensues.
Humans and dinosaurs living on Earth at the same time. I wonder what's gonna happen. Kiki, what were you inspired to make from this movie?
Okay, so this movie goes over the different categories of dinosaurs and their diets. So you've got your carnivores, obviously the T-Rex, probably the fan favorite of the movies. But you also got your herbivores, your Vegisauruses, if you will.
The gentle, sweet ones that they just show them like running majestically through the fields.
Is that not accurate?
It is.
I'm the Vegisaurus of life. And
Excuse me, are you calling me the T-Rex because I eat everything? Thanks.
No, but there's omnivores too, I think.
Yeah, I'm a proud omnivore.
Okay, so you're not just a full-blown carnivore.
No.
But I wanted to take this angle in like an herbivore direction.
Love it.
And using a prehistoric-looking vegetable, as far as I'm concerned, which is a celeriac. And I don't think celeriac gets enough attention.
I think it is because, let's be honest, they look a little bit odd.
They look raunchy.
Yeah.
You see them in the store, and you're like...
I was trying to be nice, and you're like, they look downright disgusting.
You see them in the store, and you're like, what is this thing? It's got a really tough exterior. I wanted to take a celeriac and make it on this really tiny, cute grill that I've been obsessed with lately. It's a little Harley Davidson charcoal grill. And I like it because when you're cooking food for either one or two people, you don't have to light up a giant kettle or a big green egg or anything. Essentially, if you want to cook food on a grill, you really do just need any tiny little grill and you're perfectly fine.
This one was secondhand. We got this one secondhand, but you can find grills that are exactly that size at like a Canadian Tire, your local hardware store, for literally like $30. So a lot of people think like, well, I can't get into grilling or barbecue because it's expensive, but that's really not the case.
No, and this recipe doesn't get any easier. You gotta get yourself a celeriac. You can't eat the skin. So if you're thinking like, okay, maybe like a potato or a carrot where you like to eat the skin, it's just too tough. You have to really give it a good scrub. And I wanted to take that concept with the fact that you can't eat the skin and use the skin kind of like a protective barrier. So we're gonna put it directly on the coals like cowboy style.
Or AKA caveman style.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was called cowboy.
No, it is. You can call it that too. You can call it that too.
He's like, that's wrong, it's actually caveman.
No, it is, and it goes by a variety of names, but basically let's just throw whatever it is, the meat, the veg, whatever, into the coals. And I think that's genius because then you don't have to worry about, is the exterior gonna get burnt? Is it gonna get ruined?
I love it.
You actually want it to get burnt in this case and like steam within.
You do, and because celeriac is such a big vegetable, it takes a while.
Especially this one, it's massive.
They come even bigger than that. That's not even as big as they come, but it takes a while to cook because it is so big. So this is the kind of recipe where you're gonna put it on the coals. It would be perfect for the summertime when you're outside working in the garden. You let it do its own thing. And the charcoal, this is lump charcoal, gives it so much flavor from the outside in. And I love a recipe like this because you do not have to babysit it. There is no overcooking. You literally are just putting it on. It tells you when it's done by the fact that the outside is getting charred. So while our celeriac is cooking, let me hit you with some facts about Jurassic Park.
Give it to us. I got some for you too, baby girl.
Okay, so there are many other actors considered for the role of John Hammond. John Hammond is the older gentleman who is the creator of Jurassic Park.
AKA the guy in the white linen outfit that walks around with a cane.
So the writer of Jurassic Park saw this character as like an evil Walt Disney. That's who he had in mind.
In today's world, Walt Disney is evil on his own.
Or are we gonna go there?
I ain't going there, but I'm just saying it's not like he's all like rainbows and cherries and roses here.
No, he's not. So he was initially considering Clint Eastwood, Sean Connery, but I think that old man was cast very well.
I think so as well, and I also can't see Clint Eastwood walking around in that outfit and walking around with a cane. That
does not too hot.
Yes, it does not suit him 1%.
No, and in fact, they dressed Hammond in all white, and then Dr. Malcolm in all black to show that they had opposing views on the park and genetic engineering in general.
Cool. I never realized that until now.
And the writer of the book actually said he himself identifies with Dr. Malcolm and was against all the progress in genetic engineering. And so he said that they did that intentionally to be like a very clear indication. And I didn't really realize it either until afterwards, and I was like, oh yeah.
That's why you do gotta watch this movie 92 times like we have.
And the world has, which is why it's so popular. Celeriac is ready to come off the grill. All we need to do is to cut off the exterior. You could stop here. Absolutely, you could just slice it up. It's nice and smoky. It's fully cooked all the way through. You could just eat it on its own. You could put it on a salad. You could put it on a wrap, on a sandwich. But I wanted to treat it more like a barbecued recipe, like say you were doing it with a chicken breast or something like that. What do you always do? Brush on some barbecue sauce, put it back in the grill.
Buddy, you went there. She went there.
So that's what I did, homemade barbecue sauce as well.
Genius. That's gonna take it to the next level, and I'm interested to see how you're actually gonna eat this. Because you could just slice her up, eat her like that, but I feel like knowing Kiki, she's got something special in mind for us.
Leave it to the Veggiesaurus. That's not very flattering. That's not a very flattering name.
How is it not?
Because dinosaurs are huge. It just sounds like veggie cow.
Oh my God. Okay, speaking of cow, did you know, obviously, the sounds of dinosaurs are not known. Nobody knows what a dinosaur sounds like.
I picture the way Ross Geller said that how dinosaurs sound.
Yeah, that was his creative interpretation, but based on absolutely nothing. We don't know. You find some thought, like some bones, you think like, okay, this is a dinosaur, but that doesn't tell you what it sounds like. So what the sound designer had to do to figure out how they were gonna make the sounds of the dinosaurs, they went to a zoo and listened to a variety of different animals and captured different animals.
Cool.
Yes. So for instance, the T-Rex sounds were sounds from a baby elephant, a lion, and a crocodile. So those sounds, sometimes the sounds were supposed to sound high-pitched, and sometimes the sounds were supposed to sound scary, i.e. the lion and the crocodile. And I think they absolutely nailed it, because after watching the movie, you can't tell that sounds like an elephant. It sounds like a T-Rex, and that's how you would take it as.
So to serve up my smoked celeriac, all I wanted to do was put it on a wrap that I'm currently obsessed with. They're made of lentils and quinoa and rice.
But looking absolutely spectacular.
Topped it off with a kohlrabi carrot slaw.
Ooh.
Some pickled turnip, little garlic sauce action going on in there.
Texture overload, baby.
Texture, flavor, you got some nice pickly tang going on in there. I love wraps. I could eat wraps like night and day, especially when they have I love recipes that have a million different components going on, like lots of different flavors. And the celeriac in this wrap, you just get like a nice warmth and a nice slight smokiness. So it's not like very strongly flavored. It's not like, if you've never had celeriac, it does taste like celery, but not like not as strong as fresh celery.
To me, that's like the combination that is going to make for the best wrap. You have some warm elements, you have some cooked elements, you have some raw elements. You took it to the next level with a homemade wrap. I don't think a lot of people are making homemade wraps.
Well, you very easily could. And if you haven't tried celeriac, I encourage you to try it.
Okay,
Be a Veggiesaurus.
Absolutely delectable. I think own the term Veggiesaurus. Honey, you are a Veggiesaurus.
You know Lex in the movie, the young girl?
Yeah, she's a vegetarian.
Okay, so she says she's a vegetarian. She's a vegetarian in real life too.
Oh, is she?
The actress who's no longer acting is now a painter.
I wonder if that influenced her to be a vegetarian at the time.
Who knows?
So my recipe that I was inspired to make from this movie all takes place around the scene where I think it's obviously this movie has a crescendo. It's going up, they're going to the park, you're seeing everything, they're touring around. Then they go into that laboratory where the eggs are. Okay, the hatchery, if you will. I don't know if that's what it's called, but I think that's what it would be called.
I love that part.
Okay, that part felt magical to me. When I first saw it as a kid, I remember being like, oh, look at these eggs. And for some reason they start wiggling. And so I was inspired by this scene to make baby velociraptor eggs.
Ooh.
AKA Scotch eggs.
There is an egg in it.
There is an egg. There actually is an egg in it. Does a velociraptor come out of mine? No, it doesn't, but it is rather delectable, I must say. So this is the scene where I think things start to go off the rails. Dr. Malcolm is just like we all discover as an audience that population is controlled by making all the animals, all the dinosaurs, female in the park. And Dr. Malcolm, that's when he starts to be like, okay, but how can you actually control that? And then he says a famous line, which is, life will not be contained, life breaks free, life finds a way. Who would ever think that such words of wisdom would come from a blockbuster movie like Jurassic Park? But it's true.
It is true. And I think that's the part of the movie where everybody's like, this is gonna go horribly wrong.
Yes, and he basically like foreshadows it going wrong. When I was trying to think of what I would be making for this movie, I had to go with the egg theme.
Why
I
not?
love cooking on my Big Green Egg, and especially this is the Big Green Egg Mini Max, which is the little tiny baby one.
And it's green, so it has like a dinosaur vibe to
Yes,
it. Like the
I didn't even
outside
think about that, but it totally does.
with the little like divots on it, it has like a dinosaur-y, I don't know why.
Yeah, maybe they were going for that, even though Big Green Eggs were made long before this movie.
Yeah, but everybody was so influenced by Jurassic Park.
Okay, speaking of that, it actually influenced people getting into paleontology.
That's cool. I
Is that
believe
not
that.
crazy?
I believe that. It very much made that profession look super cool.
Now, what I would like to mention about this recipe, and honey, it's weird that we both use barbecue sauce in our recipes that were inspired by the movie Jurassic Park. When you are saucing something, like ribs, like chicken, whatever you want to put sauce on, a lot of people, I think, go wrong where they start saucing from the beginning of the cook. Mm-hmm. The only reason why you don't want to do that is because you don't want to be eating burnt sauce. Barbecue sauce typically has a lot of sugar in it, which can burn if you put it on too soon. So that's why you can see in this recipe that I created, I'm saucing at the last 20 minutes of the cook. Everything's been cooked, everything's been smoked. You're just painting on some barbecue sauce, waiting 5 minutes, painting on some more, and I did 3 rounds just so it got that nice glossy, sweet texture.
Me too.
You did 3 rounds?
I did 3 rounds.
3 rounds seems to be there. It's like it's not too much, it doesn't start to get gummy,
You know
and
what?
1 is never enough.
3 rounds are about as much as I can take before I'm like, it's enough already.
That
I just
too.
want to get on with it.
That too, but it also equals out to being like exactly how you want it to taste
It's
as well.
thick, it's and then putting it back in the grill too also makes it so any sort of moisture starts to like evaporate off, and it like kind of condenses it down. It like thickens it up a little bit.
It caramelizes it.
Yeah, it makes it like nice and sticky.
Yes.
I feel like those would be phenomenal.
They were amazing. It was a Scotch. If you've never made Scotch eggs on a grill before, especially on a charcoal grill, you gotta do it because the charcoal gives it such a delectable flavor. I love these because you can serve them for brunch, you can serve them for lunch, you can serve them for dinner. They go for any meal. I don't agree with when people are like, well, I don't eat eggs at lunch or I don't eat eggs at dinner. You're not living if you don't eat eggs at all meals.
This thing is an egg inside a meatloaf, let's be honest. Slice that up, put it on a bun, put some more barbecue sauce on, a little red onion, little lettuce.
Exactly.
If you were gonna make a recipe inspired by Jurassic Park, what would you make? Let us know in the comments below. And if you have a movie in mind that you want us to make recipes inspired from, let us know. Someone said in the comments,
Sharky said you guys gotta do Ace Ventura, you don't gotta ask us twice.